Hello, my friends. Happy Monday. You're getting the podcast scene. I must admit I'm doing a little recording binge right now. I wanted to talk. I actually just recorded my podcast for Wednesday, and it made me think of something I wanted to add on. So you're getting this first, but this idea of our zone of excellence and our zone of brilliance. And I think this is from Gay Hendricks. I've just had some conversations with people about this, but I love this idea, and a lot of people play with this in different ways, but that, we can be, we do things we set out on our path to create our lives and our world and, do our business and whatever we're doing, right? And you discover along the way, ways in which you are, good at things, and you kind of hone in on those things, and you start to become really good at those things. And this is something that we also play with in the strategic coach program that I'm doing. Looking at what are you really good at? Activities that you are excellent at. And then what are the activities that are your actual brilliance? And this is where you want to be really moving in the direction of the brilliance, no matter what you do. Speaking in a way to entrepreneurs, but to me, it's like everybody has a business. It's the business of your life and living. And so whether you have an actual quote unquote business, or you just have your life and living, which is a business in and of itself, be looking at this if you'd like to create something far greater. Because what happens is we get really good at things, and we tend to, maybe they become like a, source of revenue, and we tend to, we start to kind of hone in on those things, and we're making money doing them. And you kind of get into this groove where you get kind of stuck there, and you start doing more of what you're really good at, what you're excellent at. You start doing more of it and more of it, and you kind of entrench yourself in that world. You start to embed yourself into these activities, these things that you do that you're really good at. But there's things that you are brilliant at. There's things that are your unique abilities. As Dan Sullivan, who developed Strategic Coach, he would use that terminology. There's even a book, I think it's called The Unique Ability. I can't remember the full title, but there's also a book called 10x is easier than 2x. So multiplying your business by 10 is easier than multiplying it by 2. When you multiply it by 10, it's because you have stepped into that zone of brilliance, where you're doing these things that are you are so uniquely brilliant at. They are so unique to you that there isn't any competition. I mean, there isn't competition, period, I would say. But if you look, from how people kind of see things in the marketplace, there's some of that story, and but you start to really hone in on the things that you're so brilliant at, they're so unique to you that nobody else can come anywhere close to being able to do those things. And then you have to really set up your life and your business so that that's what you're doing. You need to set up your life and your business so that, and this is the beauty of this book, 10x is easier than 2x, is where you surround yourself with people that can facilitate you in being more and more and more in your brilliance. And, people that are truly willing to, make things, they know how to make things happen for you. And the part of their brilliance, they bring their brilliance to you, and you bring your brilliance and you start to play together, and they support you and help you in being out in the world more, or, doing more of whatever that is your brilliance. And even, I look at this even, could take it out of the conversation of business. And when I was, when my kids were quite a lot younger, I hired out actually for somebody to kind of do mom stuff. I found this amazing guy, and he was kind of like my manny. And I hired him to do all the things that I could do easily. I was good at as a mom, picking the kids up from school, making them snacks, doing their homework with them, making them dinner, making me dinner, doing the cleanup, getting them ready for bed, all these things. Because when my kids were younger, it was like, any parent of a, like elementary age child or younger knows that like there's a whole, evening, bedtime, homework, if they have homework, like there's a whole process of a lot of stuff that needs to happen between like 3 p.m. and, 8, 9 p.m. when they go to bed. And I could do that, but that was not my brilliance. My brilliance as a mom was how I could be with my kids when I could spend time with them and have quality time with them and just hang out, not be cooking and cleaning and trying to get all this stuff done. And so I surrounded myself, like I, over the years, had people that came to do that so that I could be in my brilliance as a mom. And I got to spend much different, like my relationship with my kids was just so different. And I enjoyed being a mom so much more. And so we can do that in business as well. It's like, what is it that and you may not even know what it is that you're brilliant at, or you might just be discovering it, or maybe you do know, but you don't have time to do it, which is where a lot of entrepreneurs fall into that trap. And even as a mom, that was my trap, was I don't have time to spend quality time with my kids because I have to make lunch, dinner, because nobody ate the same dinner. I had to make 3 different dinners. I had to do all these things. I didn't have time to spend quality time with them. And so we get into this trap, and it's like, you've got to choose beyond it and figure out a way to include people in your life that can support you in moving more and more and more and more into that brilliance, that zone, that sweet spot that will also evolve and become even more specialized and more, you'll have even more brilliance around as you hone in on what it is that you desire, what it is that you are uniquely capable of that nobody else is, and allow everything else to either be, outsourced or given to other people, or fall away. Sometimes we just have to let things fall away that we love, that we're good at, but they're not going to get us to that real zone of brilliance, that if we hang out there and we continue to hone in on what that is and develop it, our lives and our businesses, everything will just flourish, because then you're bringing yourself to the world in a way that nobody else can. And it's also just like, it's phenomenal. It's such a gift to the world, but it's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. So I hope this was a contribution, and I will catch you next time. And hey, catch the podcast on Wednesday, because related, different conversation, but related. It'll be on the one on June 19th. Take care.